blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Jam in the center.
Boy, more and more. Every time I hear that song, I love it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the center. Got your people, your hosts, if you will, representing. Got Veep. Got Sharita Dela Cruz with DJ Sugar Shack in the building. And, of course, D-Ray, the producer. What's going on, my family? How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
Great, man. Good.
Man, I didn't get the memo. We're using government names tonight.
Well, she put it on there, so you know.
I use my government name now. I used to have a artist name, verbatim, word for word, lyrical, but not anymore.
See, verbatim and Sugar Shack. See, that I like that.
Shack and Verb.
Yeah,
okay.
Shack and Verb. I like that. All right.
That's a T-shirt and everything. So
Look,
I love it.
After we got married, Jose and Sharita, Dela Cruz.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold. Before it was Shack and Verb. And then after it's Jose and Sharita Dela Cruz.
My friends like to say
Viva la matrimony.
Oh, jeez.
Matrimony. For real.
Wow.
My friends used to put a spin on our names, but I can't say it like they say it. Shouts out to Sunshine. They did that at the wedding.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yo, so hey, I know we have a lot of wonderful topics to talk about. A lot's been going on.
Yeah.
I definitely want to give this opportunity for Sharita to spit on a topic that's been important to her. So let's go ahead and start with that, Sharita. Go ahead and tell us about what you were wanting to discuss.
Yeah, well, I'm excited because another element of hip hop is being introduced to the world on a world platform. Breakdancing will debut at the 2024 Olympics.
Crazy.
August 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Peacock or NBC, however you're watching it, right? Like, we know that hip hop exists. We know that it's influential. We know it's impactful. But to be on the largest stage in the world in sport, it is now a competitive event. And shouts out to all the breakers, movers, and shakers, b-boys, b-girls around the world. I'm fortunate enough to get stories all the time about hip hop and the different elements from my husband, who is from the Bronx, where breakdancing originated in the 1970s, right? And so he was like born in 70. So, you know, he can tell like little tidbits about when did you first see people breakdance?
By the time I really got to really understand it, I say around 77, 78, you know, there was breakdancing, pop locking, electric boogie, and all of that other stuff was like just being introduced and just done pretty much for for the world to see, or should I say, our respectable hoods. And you know what I'm saying? That was like our world. You know, I ain't nobody never thought that it was gonna even hit, especially the older people. Why that guy over there twitching like there's something wrong with him, or something like that? But it actually became a thing of beauty. Like one of the crews that I remember is the Rocksteady crew, and I mean Crazy Legs was like my boy. You know what I mean? And I mean just to see him and the rest of the guys do routines and stuff like that was just it was just crazy. It growing up in that time was like you can go and see this stuff for free with like hundreds of people, and before you know it, you're at a big old park somewhere in the Bronx, and there's almost 1,000 people there, and this block is battling that block, and that block is battling this hood, and you know it was really nice. It you know, it was a time where there was little fights and stuff like that, but nothing really violent going on. You know, everybody just wanted to enjoy this show that was about to happen, and like it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm glad that the Olympics picked it up because it blew my mind. I was like, what? Sharita said, yeah, breakdancing is part of the Olympics.
He was so excited.
I'm jumping around the house like I won the lottery.
And he started pop locking. He said, yeah, that's what I used to do. And all it is, I was like, what? Okay, baby, let's go.
Yo, stop playing.
So look, when I was researching it, you know, of course, we know what we know as hip hop heads on the surface. I did my little research and I had him to fact check me. So here we go. A lot of the moves and elements of breakdancing are derived from capoeira, tap dancing, gymnastics, and kung fu.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right. And also, of course, you know, I'm a Southern girl. I know what I know from what I read, you know what I'm saying? So it's like amazing to get the facts from someone who grew up in that era, in that place.
Right. Just like with everything that she was saying, you know what I'm saying? Like the capoeira, where there would be leg work involved. You know, karate and kung fu. You know how Bruce Lee used to get down and do that little leg sweep. You know, like all of that was all factored into breakdancing. And just think, I mean, everybody back in the 70s, man, into the 80s, everybody was doing karate. Like there was always a karate
Everybody
dude
was kung fu
in
fighting.
your man. Listen, there was always a karate dude in your hood. Karate Joe, Karate John, Karate whoever.
That is a fact.
It don't matter what borough you was in, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan,
Greensboro, North Carolina.
There was right.
High Point, Jamestown, whatever.
Oh my.
Fact.
And always be that dude that had a little rat tail that didn't belong.
Not with the headband with the sun.
With the headband and the baggy black pants and the black slippers and the black slippers that look like the paws. And he always would walk. He always would walk like
big toe with the big.
And you knew he was from like Monroe, North Carolina, but he always would talk like this because I am a karate man. And karate man bleed on the inside. You know what I mean? Facts.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Those days is crazy.
So check it. Another fact. All right. So a lot of the crews that were involved in the breakdancing were actually, neighborhood kids. They like to call them gangs, but we don't like that word. We like groups. Neighborhood groups, and they would actually, instead of warring with other groups, they would dance against them. Is that true too?
I mean, it seems pretty accurate to me.
Yeah.
I knew that, you know, whenever there was beef, there was beef. But when it came down to rocking at the jams and the break battles or the MC battles, all of that would be a cease until, you know, I guess pretty much the show was over. And
so the
sometimes they
music
used to
came
rock all
first,
night long.
always?
Yeah, for the most part.
Hey.
You know, that's the one thing for me that used to suck about growing up in North Carolina. I don't think I'm a little bit younger than you, Sugar Shack, but the first time I think I actually saw somebody break dance might have been 83.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when Black Dance came out, and that's
yeah,
when
and Beach Street right after that. Yeah, 83. There was a talent show at my middle school, and this one guy and it was a group of guys got up and they were breakdancing to Electric Kingdom, like Twilight 22. Classic. And that made that one of my favorite tracks and favorite memories of all time. And and to think that something that started in 77 in neighborhoods and boroughs in New York that filtered its way through the country now is center stage in France, and somebody is going to win a gold medal in the Olympic Games for breakdancing. And I'm gonna tell you, and y'all, everybody out there, y'all know me. Y'all know I don't care, because you can turn your location on if you want to go. But real talk, I got my money on the South Koreans or the Russians. I got my money. I got my money on the South Koreans and the Russians.
Jose said South Korea and the Philippines.
That is,
yes.
I promise you, that is no shade on my peoples from the X. You know what I'm saying? The originators.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But you gotta, like, these countries.
They're passionate about hip hop.
Take these elements and they study them a different way.
Than what we did.
Man, them Philippines,
dude.
They are Joe Coy. There was something that he did. Shout out to Joe Coy. He had some kind of special that was sort of became like a documentary for dancing, period.
It really was.
But
I think I know what you're talking about.
This dude was going to different parts of the Philippines, setting up shop with the big old speakers and the music playing and the linoleum taped on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and they was out there getting it. And I was in China and in Japan. I'm telling you,
they don't play.
They get down. Ever since Wu-Tang went out there, it
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? But
now, don't get me wrong. No disrespect, like you said, to the originators, but two of the dopest breakdancing routines I've ever seen. I think it was on So You Think You Can Dance, and I want to say it was a South Korean group, and they was all in the ninja hats and in the samurai hats, and they had these walls. They put the walls up, and they would disappear, and then you put the wall back up, and there would be 5 of them, like spinning and stuff. Crazy. And then that one, and then that one, along with this dude from Russia, that this dude was doing moves that I didn't even think was possible. He was like defying the laws of physics. And when I find that video, I'm gonna share it in our chat. And then an honorable mention, because I'm a big fan of Les Twins. out of France.
Yeah.
I can't sleep on France.
Right.
Can't sleep on France. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Veep, tell everybody about your breakdancing days, man.
Man,
What?
it's been a bit. It's been a long bit. Let's just say I did enough to be dangerous, but never like some of these other guys. Because I mean, these other guys, they would do feats that I wish I do. Like, remember Suicides? The actual movie called The
Oh
Suicide.
my gosh.
Nah, I wasn't that bold.
I'm gonna tell you something. Speaking of dangerous, and this dude just shot in my head, and I gotta get this out. There was a brother who lived in my neighborhood in Bronxdale by the name of Mel. His name is Mel Quan Pollard. May he rest in peace. He's with us in spirit now, and we were in the second section of my neighborhood, and you got to understand, there were people. He was into the whole breakdancing thing, but he was always somewhat like a secret weapon, and I'm gonna tell you why this dude was a secret weapon. There would be moments whereas you may be hanging out with other breakdancers and you guys just walking in the neighborhood, and then like somebody else, maybe from another neighborhood or even from your neighborhood, might come out and say, yo, I challenge you to a duel right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. So we in the second section. It's me, Malquan, my homeboy Larry, shout out to DJ Larry Love, MCA1. We was all together and we walking through the second section through the little playground. And I can't remember the dude's name, man, but I remember he walked up on Malquan and he was like, yo, I challenge you, this and that and the third. And they tried to catch him because he was alone without his crew, and it was two of them. So it was like a 2-on-1 thing. And
they're trying to catch you slipping, huh?
Right, absolutely. I couldn't break dance. Larry couldn't break dance. I mean, Andrew was a MC. He didn't do nothing else but that. And all I did was spin records. But Malquan had to go against this dude by himself. So dude did his little move. He tapped off to his partner. His partner did some pop locking. And we sitting there, we vibing. And then all of a sudden, Malquan said, F this, found the 40 bottle. I kid you guys not. I can't make this up. He found the 40 bottle, cracked the bottle on the ground, he did a little flip with his hands and did a head spin on the glass.
Yo.
and look, he spun on the glass on his head and then flipped up, did the B-boy stance. Not a scratch on his head, yo. Not bleeding, not nothing. Like, I don't know what was in this dude's cranium. But it must have been concrete or something. But he got back up. He got in the B-boy stance. They looked at him. They looked at us. We looked at him.
And they walked away.
It was over with.
That's when you know you lost.
It was over with.
Walk away
For
with
the most part,
Crazy.
that's the walk of shame.
Oh shit!
Wow.
And you might want to do the walk of shame straight out of the neighborhood. Go straight, make a right, make a left, but get out of the neighborhood. Because by the time, if you're in the middle of the neighborhood and you decide to walk to the end of the neighborhood, by the time it got to the end of the neighborhood, everybody knew already.
Oh, snap.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? But rest in peace to Malquan, man. That was my boy.
They're lucky we didn't have TikTok back then.
You didn't need TikTok back then, like he said, because if you didn't get out the neighborhood in time, they knew. Everybody knew. But also, I think we can probably agree this might be the most hip hop Olympics of all time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Snoop Dogg has been everywhere for some reason, and he been repping hard, and even Flavor Flav done resurfaced. And I don't know if y'all saw the article where the young lady that was competing, she was a discus thrower, and she said, "I'm competing in the Olympics, and I can't even pay my rent." And because she goes to Vanderbilt University in Tennessee. And she couldn't get an NIL deal because I guess their team is not that good. And she's in the Olympics. She's made the Olympics, but she's struggling. One tweet from Flavor Flav, next thing you know, she got stacks and stacks coming in.
That's
what what I mean?
Look, that right there, what you just said, I just found that out about that particular participant yesterday.
Right.
What I knew was that Flavor Flav funded the whole U.S. women's polo team as well. Because they work in 2 and 3 jobs, working, and it was amazing to know that they actually reached out and helped in that manner.
Facts.
And on top of that, right now he's challenging people to pledge as well.
Yeah,
to support as well.
He got the Serena Williams husband, Alexis Ohanian, has donated.
Right.
A lot of people have, and I love the fact that people are just being so humane, and mankind is working for mankind these days.
That is dope.
And I wonder if the elements of hip hop have anything to do with that, because hip hop is all about unity.
Tosh B. What's up, Tosh B? That's my girl.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
But no, you're right. It's all about unity, but it is also about grassroots as well. Because it's about the people. If you galvanize the people, you got the streets. That's just the law, and the average person didn't even really realize there was a water polo team, but guess what? They do now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Flavor Flav, again, this dude's a classically trained pianist.
Right.
He's a classically trained pianist, and he plays guitar, and he plays drums. He's like the U.S. No, he's not an ambassador, but he was invited to the ambassador.
Hold on, Sharita. Hold on, sis. Because now I have to be petty.
Let's go.
On this platform, about 2 years ago, right? And I'm calling out Veep, and I'm calling out El Presidente. I sat here and I said that Flavor Flav was on Prince's level because Flavor Flav played 23 instruments and he was proficient in all of them. And these dudes was like, Flavor Flav ain't no musician. Flavor Flav is not on Prince's level. You tripping, D-Ray. You the blah, 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 blah. And here we go.
They got clips of this cat.
Mm-hmm. I saw him play. I saw him play recently.
The same shoes my husband wore to our wedding, some Adidas superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in all hip hop eloquence, knocking down 88 keys in the ambassador's facility in France. Like, gosh.
I can definitely say for myself.
All we ever know he did was this.
Right.
Yeah.
With the blocks. You know what I'm saying?
I know for my sake, and I'll defend myself. I know I didn't question D-Ray like that. Now, Gooch and Rock is very likely.
But at the end of the day, like if in one of these days when we do a production spotlight like we've done in the past, we really got to talk about the Bomb Squad. We really got to talk about the Shockley brothers. We really got to talk about their production style and why they were able to sample without getting sued like other producers did. And I give you a hint, because Flavor Flav played a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
Sue this.
Sue that.
Something else, not only that, MC Search had a lot of persuasion and influence with labels to get people cleared for samples. Even when the Tribe Called Quest or when Public Enemy and other people were like sampling stuff, they would run it through him, and he would get the samples cleared.
Listen,
like it was incredible.
It's some hitters.
Yeah, and there is an interview that Hank Shockley did a few years ago. If I can find it, I'll share it as well. But when he said that his sampling style was a lot of the samples they didn't clear, but because he was such he was good at hiding the sample, that he was like, if you could tell where this sample came from, good luck. You know what I mean? Yeah. You deserve whatever you sue me for. But 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna tell where it came from. And for me, and you know, I don't know, maybe we do a poll on this one day. The Shockley brothers are kind of the pre-RZA production team. You know what I mean? Them guys, you know what I mean? Like actually breaking samples down to like their atoms type of production team. You know, and you don't get a lot of producers that are like that. You know, and they were raw. And a lot of that musicality came from Flavor Flav. And if you don't believe me, go look at the album credits, and if you see the last name Drayton, guess who that is?
Like, wow. I sure wish they had told Prince Paul and all of them over there at the Daylight Camp with Tommy Boy what to do, because they got held up for many, many years, decades.
Boy, that's another podcast we need to have.
They was blatant.
Yeah.
Like when you think about the 3 Feet High and Rising album.
Oh yeah.
You knew those samples.
I mean, but you know what? And it's funny to me how Tommy Boy wouldn't clear it, but West Coast did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you think about all the West Coast rap from, you know, let's say 84 on into early 90s. How much how much P-Funk and Parliament Funkadelic did the West Coast use, and how many lawsuits do you hear about? You know what I mean?
That was before the word interpolation came into play.
Fact.
But you want to know something else too? I think just like how the Sugar Hill Gang got over with Good Times by Chic, what they was doing was integrating live bands. And
that is exactly
the live bands were literally playing the music in the pocket, but it was sampling. And see, that's what the West Coast took that and revolutionized it by putting the drum machine behind it with the bass, with the lead, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit of rock and riffs or whatever, and that's what made it theirs. I can't say that any of them had gotten in trouble, because at the end of the day, I mean, Chic's label wasn't able to get at the Sugar Hill Gang for what they did. You know what I'm saying? And
they were not able to. Yeah, you're right. They were not able to sue Sylvia. Gosh, I'm thinking. I'm messing her name. Yeah, they were never. Yeah, they were never able to sue her. They were never able to sue Sugar Hill or Curtis Blow, because copyright law states that you can do a cover. You could do a derivative work. So if you didn't want to sample the actual thing, you found somebody that was proficient enough to play it, and that's what they did. That's what a lot of the really good producers did. Matter of fact, shout out to one of my favorite producers, Larry Smith, producer of Houdini and Fat Boys back in the day. If you think about that, a lot of that stuff didn't have samples in it. It had a lot of music in it, and a lot of music that was played. You know what I mean?
And then people don't even realize, like, with that, getting back to the Sugar Hill Gang song, when that Sugar Hill Gang had 2 samples in it. It had Good Times by Chic and Bounce Rock Skate Roll by Vaughn Mason.
True. Very true.
That was the track.
Yeah.
That was the
You know
track.
what I'm saying? So that whenever I think of how the sampling thing happened, and when they was trying to sue people, and then Stetson Sonic came out and did the joint that they did, and about sampling and stuff like that. Even when they made it against the law to take a full sample, they said, "What can we take? 3 seconds?"
Interpolation.
Was it? Yeah, it was like 3 seconds, something like that. Now it's to the point of where these new school producers are taking the samples and
they're raping
and throwing them through a fruity love filter. It's called love filter. And if you set it just right, you could get that sound that Drake gets whenever he be doing them songs, and then he takes the sample and winds it backwards.
Winds it out.
You know what I'm saying? And you're like, what the hell is he doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We just heard Out on a Limb by Tina Marie the other day. Amazing. And he did it once for 7.
Right. A great
he really
production
felt like what we heard the other day was better than his. Yeah. And I really beg to differ, but
okay. Okay, boys and girls, before we go to the Blast Artist Spotlight, I have to say that my intellectual property side says that today's copyright law, there is no 8-second, 3-second rule. You mess around, you and since my kids are here, FAFO.
FAAF.
Yeah. So, maybe after the break, we can go into a little bit about the Nicki Minaj versus Tracy Chapman case, and we'll tell you how deep that gets. But we'll go from there.
No doubt.
Let's go.
So check it out, gang. The way that I'll be able to play this video, if you talk, it'll actually record. So make sure you mute yourself in case you're going to get up or walk around during the video. So the Blast Artist Spotlight, it is our boy Greg Luster, and this is a new joint that he just released yesterday. It's called I Believe, and this is with Victorious. Let's check it out.
Just like the seasons. It's crazy you don't need me, but you know I need you. In the middle of my storm, you say just sit back, let me lead you. Just know that I'm God. You know the feeling is real. You so in tune with me that you know every hair I got on top of my head. Every move that I make, every step that I take. You know all about it, so I don't need to be fake. I don't know why you died for me. The answer's hard to find, so they're like we're playing hide and seek. But you saw something inside of me, and that's fine with me, because in you is where I find my peace. So when the problems come and make it hard to see, I'ma ride the wave, just like I ride the beat.
I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You died for me. I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah, I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe,
you died on the cross. Rose again to save the lost. When it comes to this trip, man, I ain't gonna lie, you the reason for all of the songs. Gotta run it back, gotta run it back. You the reason for the songs. And I believe that I was bald. You broke the chains and set me free. Ain't no way that I can't believe. It's because of you that I'm a brand new. I've been purchased, you paid the fee. I don't look like what I've been through. All my sins been washed clean. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Virtuous, won't you tell them what I mean?
I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You died for me. You died for me. I just can't believe it. Yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah. I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know your will and get understanding. I believe. I believe. I believe in the Father. Yeah. I believe in the Son, the only begotten. I believe in the Holy Ghost. Oh, I believe that you won, and we are more than conquerors. I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You died for me. You died for me. I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah. I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know your will and get understanding. I believe. I believe. I believe.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
that's fire.
crazy.
You know, I know you got to say all of the official thing, Veep. Unmute yourself, by the way. But the thing is, we have come so far in Christian hip hop that we
Facts.
don't even say that's Christian hip hop anymore. We could just say that's just fire hip hop.
Plain.
Shout out to my boy Greg Lester. That track is absolutely dope.
Hey,
And
would
honestly,
it
that could be put into a contemporary hip hop category.
be? Yeah.
Facts. We're gonna talk about that. Absolutely.
Would it be okay if you guys send that to me and I can send it to my church?
Absolutely. Greg won't have a problem with that.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me spill the beans real quick. If you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're the fan of great music interest, definitely go to blastmusic247.com, register as a unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast. We're constantly changing the industry, one artist at a time. And also, we already interviewed Greg Lester on this show. So definitely look back in some of the past history. I mean, shoot, we got Omega Sparks. We got, DJ D-Shay. I mean, come on, man. We got some banger interviews.
Back in the
Yeah, I
day.
remember DJ D-Shay too.
Wow.
Yeah, and so in real talk, be on the lookout because somebody y'all know real well might have a track with Greg Lester real soon. So yeah,
I'm telling you, Greg is that dude.
he is that dude for real. So real quick, we was talking about right before we go into the next topic, the Nicki Minaj versus Tracy Chapman case.
Yes.
Basically, what happened? Nicki Minaj wanted to sample "Fast Car," which was Tracy Chapman's big hit from the 80s, right?
Right.
She sampled it, her and her people, her producer, they sampled it, did whatever they were going to do to it. All they did was they did a demo, right? So then they went to Tracy Chapman and said, hey, can you clear this sample? Tracy Chapman said no. Under no circumstances did she want her brand, her song, to be associated with anything that Nicki Minaj did, right? So now, I'm sorry.
This before or after she gave the country dude permission to do it?
This was before. Now let's move on. Yeah, because see, with the country dude did a cover, but what Nicki did, she did a sample going in a totally different direction. So what wound up happening was that now Nicki was stuck with this demo that she could not do anything with because the sample couldn't get clear. So she made the mistake of giving the track to Funk Master Flex. What does Funk Master Flex do?
Play it.
He plays it on his show on national radio, and it disseminates all over the world. So Tracy Chapman's people hear it and go, huh, that sounds like Fast Car on Nicki Minaj's track, and I'm pretty sure we declined it and we turned her down.
Right.
Make a long story short, they went to court. Tracy Chapman won. She won a settlement. She won damages. But not only that, the Superior Court set precedent that now, boys and girls, if you are a producer, you can't even sample at home to demo something without permission.
Good grief.
So if you at the house and you are sampling something like, we're just playing around, technically you're breaking the law.
Oh wow.
And that is where we are now when it comes to sampling. And so if you go and look that up, that is now judicial record that you cannot sample even in the comfort of your own home for your own private use.
Do me a favor. Tell me what year and month was
that?
That
Was about 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm gonna share that with you. But yeah, that's where we are when it comes to sampling.
So real quick, Noble Genius says it was also sampled in Nice and Smooth song. Sometimes I run slow. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. She owed mad.
I was gonna speak on that, and Noble Genius, you a genius because that was in my head the whole time. And what happened? Like, why didn't he get in trouble? What was the difference between Greg Nice and Nicki Minaj?
Tracy Chapman ain't no back then.
I think honestly, it was a change in times. I think it's if you're looking at when Nice and Smooth was out, that was like late 80s, early 90s. Tracy Chapman was still under contract, which means that she was still maybe beholden to a record company that may have encouraged her to let that sample get cleared, but she ain't been under a contract in a very long time.
She probably owned her masters at the time, but probably now she does.
And that's another thing. When you own your masters, that's what Prince used to tell everybody. He wouldn't work with you if you didn't own your masters. So that's where we are.
So now she on that. Now she on that "F you pay me" mentality.
And she should be.
And she should.
Oh yeah.
So you mean to tell me hip hop is doing this kind of thing, putting individuals on world stages and competitive sports, changing legislation. Hip hop is live and direct.
Facts upon facts, and with that comes the inevitable conversation where people want to say that hip hop is a young person's genre, right? And that now they got Willie Nelson, who is 115, that's still on tour. Yep. You got the Rolling Stones, who's a smooth 120, and y'all know I'm being facetious, but y'all get what I'm getting at. But for whatever reason, when a hip hop artist hits 40, now all of a sudden they need to retire and stop rapping. And to me, that is an inherent problem. I'll give you an example. I was in Greensboro last week. I had some really stressful things going on at the time. I happened to turn on 90.1. Shout out to WNAA Greensboro, North Carolina. WNAA 90.1 FM stereo. And I heard Common's track that was produced by Pete Rock. And I'm sitting there going, and I immediately got transported back to my days of rummaging around A&T's campus when I was a teenager. And I'm like, you know what? I really think there needs to be an adult contemporary genre. And funny, fast forward a few days later, we got the pleasure and the opportunity to interview Young MC, Mr. Busta Move himself, on our nerd game podcast, Power Ups International. And and we asked him, just a side question, do you think there needs to be an adult contemporary hip hop genre? And he said, most definitely. He was like, you think about it. Every other genre has subgenres. Why not hip hop?
Right.
They have many.
Rock have?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? And so, like, in hip hop, it's like, for whatever reason, it's not as many subgenres as it should be. Everything kind of gets clumped in together. You know, if you think about, hip hop of the early 90s, the music that was coming from Gang Starr and Public Enemy was not the same music that was coming from NWA and DJ Quick.
Facts.
You know, and the music that was coming from DJ Quick and Too Short was not the same music that was coming from the Ghetto Boys and your brothers from Houston. And so there needs, in my opinion, there needs to be some more subgenres, and there needs to be representation on the Billboard charts. Because think about it. How many of the rap projects that we have heard in the past 5 years would have been number one on an adult contemporary hip hop chart that got drowned out by garbage, in my opinion?
Facts.
I probably shouldn't say that because other people like it. But I probably shouldn't say that. But, you know, I'm still salty that Rhapsody's record from a few years ago didn't get more props than it got. I'm still a little salty that Little Brother's Return project didn't get as much props as it should have got. I'm salty that Fonte's project, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and so,
my gosh.
So, you know, So Help Me God is like staple. Go ahead.
Hold up, D-Ray. We're still stuck on that top 50 list with Ice-T being 10 and Kendrick Lamar being 45.
Bruh. It
depends on who you ask. Exactly. You have the genre drill beats, that Death March stuff that they're doing. Right. Got the mumble rap, that should be a category entitled mumble rap.
Facts.
Then you should definitely have adult contemporary.
But you know what's crazy? If you look over in Great Britain, part of the dance music subgenre is called trip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. But it's not. Trip hop is more of a jazzy mix of dance music, and so if you look up trip hop, it is not
over there.
Right, it's not really a subgenre of hip hop. Trip hop is a subgenre of dance, of down tempo, of EDM. Chill, of EDM, right? Mm-hmm. And which is crazy to me, but you know, it is what it is, you know.
And even they got subcategories.
You know, credit stores in China, so you know anything's possible.
Yeah.
So D-Ray, what does it take to get that initiated? Like,
it's gonna have to be a groundswell, and therein lies the problem, because you know a lot of times
AA.
You know,
it would probably have to start with the Recording Industries of America.
No, it's
the certifications.
Right, you're right, and it's gonna have to start with the streets. What did we say in the beginning? You know, if you win the streets, you win the battle, right? The streets are going to have to demand that this chart exists, right? It can't just be a few old heads that then the young cats go, "Oh, y'all just bitter." No, we it's not that we bitter. We like what we like.
Yeah, and it
You know
ain't.
what I mean?
Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Whose response to changing times and hip hop do you, I won't say value or respect, I'll say think was more studious? The way that Method Man handled his at Summer Jam, or the way that Busta Rhymes handled his at the Essence Fest? Like, which one do you think was a more effective way to say, hey, I'm old school, love it, leave me alone?
I honestly, both of the responses were a little problematic, but I get it. I'm gonna give the edge to Method Man though, because he finished the show and did, he was a professional with it and just basically said, "I just ain't doing this no more." You know what I mean? Buster took the time to sort of chastise the audience, and to me, that's something that you just really just don't ever do. That's something that you shouldn't do. But also Buster has another revenue stream, in Hollywood. So, with that being said, you can kind of take those kind of risks of trying to, tell your audience what you should and should not do.
And that's where I was about to head, because if you ever been to a Busta Rhymes show and you holding your phone too long, he'll tell you put your damn phone down.
Right.
Pick your drink up and rock with me.
Right. Right.
But
to his credit, and to his credit, I've been to a number of great concerts in my life.
Can't be a Busta.
Oh yes, I can. I saw Prince twice, and I can tell you. Yeah. I'm talking about concerts, period. And what I can tell you is that in a good concert, you are so in the moment that you don't really care about putting your phone out.
Well, there wasn't no phones up at the Prince concert.
In 2004, it was. Now, 1988, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
In the musicology tour, absolutely. But
the post-perm Prince.
Post-perm. Triple P.
You know what? I should be mad that you said that, but that was actually really clever. But
when he had that creamy crack in his head, he lost his mind. He was walking around with trench coats and Speedos.
That is true.
That's you know what? That's a whole separate conversation in and of itself. But I'll say this:
he had the baddest, whatever. I ain't gonna say the B word, but the baddest.
All I'm gonna say, I can't. I'm not gonna have this conversation again, sis, because I'm a little bit woozy. And if I start talking about how Sheila E. walked by me and she smelled like cookies, I'm really not going to be able to hold myself together. But
we don't find that story again.
No, I ain't going to do it.
If it ain't Janet Jackson, if it ain't, what's the other one y'all love?
Okay. Wait a minute. I need to talk to Sugar Shack. Sugar Shack. I need to talk directly to you, my brother. You remember Sheila E. had that white suit that was half suit and half skin?
Yeah.
She walked by me. I was on the floor of Greensboro Coliseum when they was marching to the stage. And I can't tell if it was cookies or whatever that thing I was smelling, but it did something to the 16-year-old in me. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow. D-Ray found himself at a Sheila E.
Listen, if it wasn't her,
all I'm gonna say.
If it wasn't her, the girl Cat.
Cat was cute.
With New Power Generation.
Cat was cute, but she ain't walk by me like Sheila E. did. Good Lord. Wait a minute, we getting off topic. We
totally left hip hop.
But real talk. There needs
cookies, V.
Yes, see, stop it. Now I'm gonna have to go see if I got some cookies in the kitchen. But no, I really think there needs to be that kind of representation. Why is it that the Rolling Stones can go on tour in perpetuity, and our rap acts got to go to Japan to make a living? Public Enemy got to go to Germany to make a living.
Yeah, that's
you
crazy.
know. KRS-One got to go to South Korea or Australia.
Right, absolutely. I'm gonna tell you now. A lot of that, for some reason, a lot of that strained from way back in the day, and I know you could vouch for me with this, D. When I
about to say it.
When I say this, because I could never understand why, but for some reason they make more money out there. Just like back in the day,
the vinyls.
With the vinyls, there were imports. This was a 12-inch record that normally played at a speed of 45 RPMs because the sound was more crispier, and you paid $20 when Paid in Full came out, and they did that. This is a journey into sound. That record was $20 freaking dollars.
In what year?
I can't, man. Listen.
Back in the day,
it was. I can't even think of the years. But De La Soul had to do it.
Yep.
Digital Underground did it.
Wow.
And I believe
Queen Latifah
did it, of course. You know what I'm saying? Now, 45 King, when 45 King did the beat for Justify My Love, if I'm not mistaken, he did that beat in the UK.
Yeah.
He did that beat in the UK. It automatically became an import, and you had to pay $20 for that single.
Wow.
Period. No matter where you went to buy it.
Wow.
And I believe somewhere down the line, when it came down to those imports, the artist was making more money with the imports more than they would per unit with the label.
I will concur. That is an absolute fact, and the numbers don't lie. And one of the main reasons is that everywhere else in the world values the music.
Yes.
For some reason, the United States values the image.
Yeah.
Right. You can
Everybody else values the craft.
Right. Yeah. You can be like, perfect example. And I know we're going off on a tangent, and I know we're up against the clock. Early 90s, CC Music Factory, right? Why did they have to cover up the fact about Martha Wash, right? In Germany, everybody in Germany and in Europe knew who Martha Wash was, but when they got back to the United States, they wanted to hide the fact of who she was. Why? Because she did not fit the image, right? It was that image. Milli Vanilli's image, right? It was more than just lip syncing. If y'all saw who actually sang the Milli Vanilli songs, they wouldn't have lasted in the United States. They looked like your drunk.
That documentary too.
They look like your drunk uncles at the cookout at Barber Park. You know what I mean?
And so Yarby that way too.
Right. So I think and they value and the rest of the world are more of audiophiles than we are. You know, because if you think about the human ear, the human ear is an analog instrument, right? So it's perfect for vinyl. Vinyl is a representation of a sound wave. A CD or MP3 or whatever is a digital copy of a representation of a sound wave. Meaning what? It will never be a sound wave.
Break it down, Dr. D. Ray.
Wow, bro.
So that's you hit it on the head, man. Yeah, you definitely gonna make some more money. Like I know singers from different genres. They could go sell out a club, sell out an arena in South Africa right now. Come back to the United States, and you never know who they were.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot, I actually would love to get all of our blast artists big overseas, and then translate
I kid you not. I don't care if I go number one in the Netherlands, if I go number one in Germany, or if I go number one in the Congo. Whatever that conversion rate is, I'll take it.
Facts.
Not you.
Right.
We don't discriminate.
And say, how do you say "run me my money" in Congolese?
No doubt. Did anybody have any closing? I was gonna say arguments, but they ain't even like that. Any closing?
Judge, wait a minute, Judge Veep. Now it's time for closing argument.
Well, I want to say that hip hop is all the way live.
Yes.
I rest my case.
Yeah, and I want to say it sucks with this sampling thing right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do because
breaking the law.
I just got up this morning and freaked some Stevie Wonder, and now I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, man,
he's not even a U.S. citizen anymore, so he don't know what's going on over here.
Man, listen, it's crazy.
See, they got the copyright laws now. Like you cut the tabs off your pillows.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I got to show you a case, Sugar Shack. After the show, I'm gonna show you a case that's gonna rock your world afterwards. But yeah, okay.
Okay.
D-Ray, you have any closing arguments, sir?
Man, I'm gonna quote one of my favorite MCs, Yasin Bey, also known as Mos Def. Hip hop is a beautiful culture. It is inspirational because it is a culture of survivors.
Damn.
Nice.
That's very nice. That's deep. Yo, once again, we dropped that hip hop knowledge on you. A summary: hip hop in the Olympics and hip hop laws. And
101.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, make sure next week you come check us out. Bring a friend. Tell them to join the center. Thank you for those in the comments. We appreciate your input. All I can ask you is to please be safe, and we'll see you next week. And just like Rakim says, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. So always keep it at the center. Love you guys. You guys be safe. We'll see y'all next week. God bless.
They used to jam in the center.